I am going to be discussing the movie that we watched, Seeking Refuge. That movie was very impactful for me, um, in a lot of ways, but specifically as a Christian and someone who believes in a biblical worldview. Hearing the statistics of millions of people arriving, refugees fleeing mass destruction and war, um, human rights issues, tyrannical governments, and then the ones that do attempt to go to a safer country are met with like rape and persecution and smugglers. Um, and then when other countries start closing their borders and not leaving them open for refugees, then there's a lot of displaced people that are stuck because they can't go back to their countries of origin, and yet they're not able to move along to a safer country because the borders are closed. It was interesting how they talked about how there were 13,000 stuck at the Macedonia, Slovenia, Croatian border with no adequate shelter and very little food. So they're going hungry. They don't have good shelter. And it makes me think of how the Bible talks about how we should care for refugees, immigrants, orphans, widows, and we're seeing these things happen. And yes, studies have shown that NGOs, as well as faith based organizations, do provide temporary, um, short term, temporary supplies that are needed. There tends to be a lack of long term solutions. There tends to be a lack of long term care and a lack of solutions and policies and people enforcing those things. For example, an NGO or, say, a church might bring in some food for refugees and some clothing that they collected, but that only helps temporarily. And then we still see a lack of where are the people going to live? How are they going to get jobs? Learn the primary language of the country that they're in so that they stay safer and have are able to build community with each other, things like that. And so I think just as a Christian, just knowing that part of sharing the gospel of Jesus is also following the things that the Bible has commanded us to do. And so for anyone that is going into global social work or that would like to, just to consider the spiritual side of things too, um, and what God has called us to do in helping refugees, immigrants, and orphans and widows.